This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Dustin Hoffman.
Welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Hoffman. Today is Wednesday, July the 26th, 2023. We're so glad you could come with us today. Coming up on today's program, I'm going to talk with Iowa Senator Joni Ernst about Farm Bill progress and also about concerns over how much land China is owning in the United States. We'll also take a look at that hot ag weather outlook. But first, let's run down the markets. It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net. We're at the end of another trading day, and we're talking again with Jacob Burks of agmarket.net. Jacob, we talked yesterday about the pullback we saw in grains. Did that continue into today, or what were the markets doing?
Yeah, we did have another negative day here in the corn market anyway, and had quite a bit of excitement in the soybeans. So soybeans, end of the day rally. We see some tightness. We see some cash basis appreciation. A lot of news regarding China's stimulus package that could up their increase in demand. Potentially exports coming through. We know what's coming from Brazil, but coming through us, we don't have a lot on the books. So there's a lot of optimism in this bean market here. So we're actually up 41 cents here in August at the end of the day. Now, the November new crop stuff unchanged on the day. Doesn't quite affect the new crop stuff, but just what's in the bin right now. So corn, wheat down 15, 16 cents in the corn market, down 38 to 40 in the wheat. A lot of that's blamed on the fact that we're not stimulating the fear of in the Ukraine-Russia situation anymore. But all in all, we did see a little bit of rain come across here for the corn market in some of the drier areas today.
I was just going to mention, it really seems like the market's kind of corrected itself from the excitement we had on Sunday night into Monday morning. And, now it's kind of gone focused back onto what the weather is going to be doing.
Right. I heard the best sold, said a long time ago that, the markets, especially with funds involved and the more the computers get involved, you're always going to overshoot the runway. Sometimes you miss the whole airport. And I think that when these, headline reactions come in, we do that a lot. And when you start seeing a major provider of commodities to the rest of the world, especially the European areas, get all almost for most purposes, all agriculture export ports bombed, and you're in that type of fear of what who will even provide insurance to bring products out of that area. Yeah, you start to put a little bit of extra premium in there, and this heat wave that's coming. It's real, but when you see some surprise rains that came through, like we saw this morning and then the last night, that sure helps put to bed the idea that we're going to see continued falling in the yield numbers.
So now moving over to the livestock side of things, with corn falling, were cattle able to turn it around today compared to yesterday, or what happened in livestock?
Yeah, you're starting to you focus on right now what's going on in the cash market right now, and the box beef has kind of led the way. We've seen some stability there. You see the cash, the numbers going into the feedlot that everything's being moved up. Packers are seeing a little bit tighter, profit margin. And so this next couple of weeks are pretty pivotal. It's how we go into the Labor Day, season and what we're going to see with box beef, what we're going to see on kill numbers. But man, they've been strong. These guys are getting into the level now where these feedlots are putting cattle in the feedlot that are going to basically require something over $2 to finish. So you're at. I'm not saying we're at a topping, but we're at the upper echelon of what's how much risk are these guys willing to take as we go forward. But yeah, feeder cattle up $1 here today. And a lot of that has to do with 2 days down in the corn market. The hog market took a little breather here today. We're unchanged in the August. The Octobers are down about 75 cents. So if you go back and look at that, that's been a pretty choppy sideways with a lot of volatility in that hog market. So today we're on the downside of things right now, but it's been a very, very good move up from the bottom, and that's mostly led by the cash market and the pork cutouts.
All right. Well, obviously we had a lot of stuff to be thinking about, especially weather-wise. And that's going to change the dynamic we see in the market every day. If folks want to talk about what their options are, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you all at agmarket.net?
Go to agmarket.net, look at the 30-day free trial of our Intel. We'd love to show you around what we have to offer as far as information. Give us a call here, 608-384-5438.
All right. Well, Jacob, thanks so much for the insight. We'll talk to you again real soon.
All right. Thanks for having me, Dustin.
That again was Jacob Burks of agmarket.net. Let's go ahead and take a look at the closing numbers. Those come to us courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. September corn was down 17 and a quarter at 540 and a quarter. December new crop down 17 at 548 and a quarter. August beans up 30 and 3/4 at 1546 and a quarter. November new crop was unchanged at 1420 even. Soy meal $8.30 higher at 444.60. Soy oil $1.51 lower at 66.97. Chicago wheat 38.5 cents lower at 742 and a quarter. Minneapolis wheat down 34.5 at 907.5. Kansas wheat 43.5 cents lower at 877 and a quarter. December oats 12 and a quarter lower at 448 and 3/4. August live cattle 37 cents higher at 178.67. August feeders 97 cents higher at 244.20. Lean hogs unchanged at 101.65. Pork cutouts down 45 cents at 109.20. Class 3 milk was down a penny at 13.77. And that's been a check of your markets. We're going to take a short break and hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we get back, I talk with Iowa Senator Joni Ernst. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to AMPM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. Well, obviously, we know the Farm Bill will expire in about 2 months, the end of September. Of course, the last two have had to have extensions at least into the following year. Now, we're hopeful that it will get done on time, but again, as reality is starting to set in a little bit, we're finding out that may not be the case. I talked with Iowa Senator Joni Ernst about the Farm Bill and also Chinese land ownership in the United States. We're talking right now with Iowa Senator Joni Ernst. And first of all, Senator Ernst, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with us today.
Oh, it's always great to be with you, Dustin. Thank you.
So the first question I got to ask on an overall look at it, how is things going with the Farm Bill? That's I know the big question farmers want to know.
Well, I would say that it is moving along and we're taking our time. We've heard from a number of Iowa-based agricultural groups, various stakeholders. I did roundtable meetings all across the state. We have concluded those now, and we continue to work within the committee structure and our subcommittees on various components of the Farm Bill, addressing each one of those titles. And we had Iowa Farm Bureau in just the other day and visiting with them as well about a number of priorities. But I do think it is moving along, and I wouldn't say that maybe it'll be done by the end of September, but certainly as we look towards the end of the year, first part of next year, we should see it completed and over the finish line, which does mean that we have to have a few extenders put in place.
I was just going to ask, what is the next step usually if you need to go beyond that September 30th deadline?
Right, and that would be extending a number of the programs that are already in existence in the Farm Bill, and we should not receive any pushback on that.
So now specifically in the Farm Bill, what are some things that are maybe getting some traction, maybe finding some headwind? What kind of things are you really focusing on right now?
Well, there are a couple of things. One that I'm focusing on is disallowing or at least monitoring what other foreign investors are doing when it comes to U.S. ag land. And in particular, a number of citizens have brought up the point that China seems to be purchasing a lot of farm ground across the United States. And so we have a provision that will go into the Farm Bill. Senator Debbie Stabenow is my co-lead on this particular bill called the Farmland Act, but it would allow a couple of additional seats at the table from USDA when looking at foreign investors in the United States. And we could determine then, are there national security implications? Are there food security implications? It is very much like a CFIUS, a foreign investor review process. And we think it's just the smart thing to do as we see a lot of foreign countries come into the United States and purchase farm ground. I will say Iowa already does have a law on the books. We've had this for probably a decade or better that prohibits foreign ownership of any more than 320 acres. So we just want to make sure that we're putting some of these foreign investors in check. So that is a really interesting part of the Farm Bill, and one that's getting a lot of traction out there. It is bipartisan supported. One of the maybe headwinds with the Farm Bill will be the discussion over food assistance. The likely cost of this bill is estimated to be around $1.5 trillion over the course of the next 10 years. And by and large, only about 13 to 14% of that actually goes to farm programs. The rest of it goes to food assistance. And we seem to have a lot more people maybe don't necessarily need to be on food assistance taking advantage of those programs. So I know that that is what will get a lot of the pushback in the Farm Bill, and we'll continue to have those discussions as we move forward.
So I guess my question following up on that, the foreign ownership of land, how do we police that so we can make sure that foreign investments aren't going through a dummy corporation or somewhere else, and kind of keep track of that?
Right, Dustin. And this is where we have found one of the greatest challenges with actually getting this bill moved forward is that many of these records, Dustin, and I couldn't even believe it, they are still paper records, which means it is very difficult for the United States government to track some of these entities down and do the double checks necessary to see if there is a pattern of purchasing across our farmland in the United States. So we do have provisions there that would enable an electronic system to move forward. But it just shows how outdated our USDA is, and the fact that we need to invest in advancements in technology, not just at USDA, but all across our federal government. We need to be much more efficient, and it will allow us to do our work much easier if we have those systems in place. We hope that this will enable us to be a lot more efficient and effective in policing up foreign ownership of land in the U.S.
And that was Iowa Senator Joni Ernst. Let's go ahead and run down that ag weather outlook. Well, it's going to be hot enough to melt the spots off of Holstein in the next couple of days, and it doesn't look like it's going to give up anytime soon. We know it's been hot and very humid, and of course that's great for growing corn, especially when it's getting out of the pollination phase. But again, we're already looking at some stress crops. So what does the National Weather Service have in store for the next 24 hours? Well, let's find out. Well, make no mistake, it is warm, going to get warmer, and really there's no relief in the immediate future. We saw a lot of sun here again today. Highs were pretty steady across Iowa, only seeing in the mid to upper 90s. Now tonight it's going to stay mostly clear and warm, and that's where we see some of that crop stress come in when the corn can't cool down at night. And we're seeing lows anywhere basically in the low 70s. And then tomorrow mostly sunny skies and hot once again. Could be seeing some of our first triple digits coming up here in this heat wave, and looking at highs in the mid 90s to even maybe 100. Looking at the affiliate weather map for tomorrow, we see Cherokee sunny and 95, Shenandoah sunny 96, Des Moines sunny and 99, Waterloo sunny and 99 as well. Albia will be sunny and 100 degrees, and Clinton will be sunny and 96. For more detailed forecasts in your area, tune to your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that's been the Ag Weather Outlook. And with that, we're at the end of today's show. You can find all our content online at iowaagnet.com. Also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, and on our YouTube channel. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified each time we put out a new video project. You can also get our free twice daily market podcast through Google, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Dustin Huffman. For Mark Magnuson and Riley Smith, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.